Good morning, boys and girls. I'm so happy that you all were able to join me in today's Storytime Hour. Before we get started, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Bree, and I will be your storyteller for today. So, we're going to get started by clapping our hands. Hear, hear, we'll all hear. Hear, hear, we'll all hear. Hear, hear, we'll all hear. We're all here in story time. Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? We're so glad to see you. Here, here, we'll all hear. Here, here, we'll all hear. Here, here, we'll all hear. We're all here in story time. Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? We're so glad to see you. Good job. So today in story time, I brought along a friend with me. Say hello to Belky. This is one of my mini Belky bears. I've been collecting Belky bears since 1992. Belky is named after a store that's located in the southeastern part of the United States, which is known as Belts. And this is the 2014 edition. I brought Belky along because in today's story, two of the bunnies sleep with a doll. Although Belky isn't a doll, she's a teddy bear, I sleep with her each and every night because she reminds me of home. So with today, we're going to get started on a wonderful story. The name of this story is Sophie's Sleepover by Marissa Bina Russo. Sophie Sleeps Over, Marissa Bina Russo. From the first day of kindergarten, Sophie and Olive were the best bunny friends. They both snacked on carrots and cabbage and kale. They both wore tiaras and bracelets and bows. They both played jump rope and hopscotch and tag. And of course, they both loved ping pong. One day, as Sophie and Olive were walking home from school, Olive said, "For my birthday, I'm going to have a sleepover, and you're invited." "Sleepover parties are my favorite kind," said Sophie, even though she had never been to one. Sophie went home and made a list of what she thought she would need at Olive's sleepover party. 1 rainbow t-shirt, 2 ping pong paddles, and 3 tiaras. Mama suggested pajamas and a toothbrush. Daddy suggested a sleeping bag and a pillow. Sophie, "And what about Turnip?" said Mama. Turnip was Sophie's favorite doll. Sophie shook her head. No. She always slept with Turnip, but she didn't want Olive to think she was a baby. The day of Olive's sleepover party, Sophie stuffed everything she needed in a big pillowcase, except for her tiara. She wore it on her head. She carried a box wrapped in purple tissue, Olive's favorite color. My first sleepover party, thought Sophie. She was happy, from the tops of her ears to the tips of her toes. But when the door opened at Olive's house, instead of Olive, there was a bunny Sophie had never seen before. "Who are you?" asked the bunny. For a moment, Sophie thought maybe she had gone to the wrong house. "My name is Sophie. Who are you?" "I'm Penelope," said the bunny. "I'm Olive's best friend." "No, I'm her best friend," said Sophie. But all of a sudden, she wasn't so sure. First, the 3 bunnies played ping pong. Even though Sophie loved to play ping pong, she kept missing the ball, and then she tripped. "I guess I'm not very good at ping pong today," said Sophie, brushing off her skirt. "Are you good at math?" asked Penelope. You could just keep score. Sophie wasn't very good at math, and she didn't want to keep score. She wanted to go home. After ping pong, it was time to decorate cupcakes. There were sprinkles and candies and little tubes of frosting. I love cupcakes, said Penelope. Carrot is my favorite. Mine too, said Olive. Actually, I kind of like broccoli cupcakes, said Sophie. Yuck, said Penelope and Olive at the same time. Sophie looked at the clock. Maybe it wasn't too late to call Mama. But when Olive said, it's time to play pin the tail on the raccoon, Sophie decided she could call Mama later. Olive went first because it was her birthday. Her tail ended up by the raccoon's nose. People went next. Penelope went next, and her tail ended up by the raccoon's front paw. Finally, it was Sophie's turn. She put the tail right where it belonged. You're the winner, said Oliver. Were you peeking? Asked Penelope. That's cheating, said Olive, and Sophie would never cheat. So, I see. I really am Olive's best friend, thought Sophie. Now she didn't want to go home after all. When Olive started to open her presents, Penelope shouted, Mine first! Mine first! Olive ripped the paper and there was a box of paints. Thank you, Penelope, she said. Then Olive opened Sophie's present. Out of the purple tissue, she pulled a wooden frame with a photograph of her and Sophie. On the frame, Sophie had painted flowers and the words best friends. Wait, I thought I was your best friend. Olive, said Penelope. You are, said Olive, but so is Sophie. That's dumb, said Penelope. A best friends means one friend, not two. No, it doesn't, said Olive. Sophie didn't say anything, but she kind of agreed with Penelope. And then it was time for the bunnies to get into their sleeping bags. Can we have blueberry pancakes for breakfast? Asked Olive when her mother came in to turn off the lights. Of course, said Olive's mother. Now sleep tight, little bunnies, and don't stay up all night. Soon Sophie could hear a soft snoring. The clock on the wall ticked and tocked, tick-tock, tick-tock. She looked around the room. The shadows were all wrong. She rolled this way and that. She felt scrunched in her sleeping bag. And worst of all, she missed Turnip, which was her favorite doll to sleep with at night. Sophie got up and walked to the bed. Suddenly, a voice said, What are you doing? Sophie jumped, but it was only Penelope standing right beside her. I can't sleep, whispered Sophie. Me neither, said Penelope. This is my first sleepover, said Sophie. Mine too, said Penelope. And I didn't bring my favorite doll to sleep with. Me neither, said Penelope. I didn't want Olive to think I was a baby. The two bunnies stood by the window and looked at the shadows of the trees. They listened to the hoot-hoots of an owl. Penelope showed Sophie the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper in the starry night sky. Penelope knew all about the stars. At last, Sophie yawned and said, I'm getting sleepy. Penelope yawned and said, oh, me too. They both got back in their sleeping bags. Maybe Olive's right, whispered Penelope. Maybe it's okay to have two best friends. I guess you can never have too many, said Sophie. They both listened to Olive snoring. The clock on the wall ticked and tocked, tick-tock, tick-tock. Tomorrow morning, there would be blueberry pancakes and ping pong, and maybe even time for some jump rope. Jump rope was always better with 3. Sophie was happy from the tops of her ears to the tips of her toes. And before long, she was fast asleep. The end. So now what we're going to do, we're going to get our wiggles out before we move on to our next activity. So we're going to stretch up high, and we're going to stretch down low and touch our toes. So today, during this story time, we are going to sing one of my favorite songs that I'm sure that you will enjoy, and it may be some of your favorite songs as well. So with this, we're going to use our fingers, and we're going to do sign language. So for this song, there are 4 things that we have to remember. So when we say my, you're going to move your hand just like this. And your, move your hand just like this. And when we say play, gesture your hand like this. And when we say friends, touch your fingers just like this. So my, your, play, and friends. So let's get started. The more we get together, the more we get together, the happier we'll be. Because my friends are your friends and your friends are my friends. The more we get together, the happier we'll be. The more we get together, the more we get together, the happier we'll be. Because my friends are your friends and your friends are my friends. The more we get together, the happier we'll be. So remember, play and friends. My, your. The more we play together, the more we play together, the happier we'll be. Because my friends are your friends and your friends are my friends. The more we play together, the happier we'll be. One more time. The more we play together, the more we play together, the happier we'll be. Because my friends are your friends and your friends are my friends. The more we play together, the happier we'll be. Thank you, boys and girls. So next we're going to move to our goodbye song now that we've finished all of our books. So here it goes. Up, down, turn around, touch the sky and touch the ground. Pat your belly, blink your eye, blow a kiss and say goodbye. Last time. Up, down, turn around, touch the sky and touch the ground. Pat your bellies, blink your eyes, blow a kiss and say goodbye. Thank you all for joining me for my story time hour, and I appreciate it, and have a wonderful day.